Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise if we are running a little late. Either my watch is fast or we're running a little late. We are, around the Max production, known as Miller's Modern Music Hall. We are modern. We don't feel that we have to be slaves to a tradition here, but one or two little traditions that we do like to keep alive. And the first is that we all play the little game here where we all take out our mobile anachronisms and put them on silent. Otherwise it would be silly, wouldn't it? Thank you. And the other little tradition that we love to keep alive is that when I say big words like virtuosity, some of you So let's try that again. If I say a big word like spatulate, fantastic, wonderful. Well, I think that's it. I think we've got a wonderful audience here, already thoroughly warmed up. So let's see what we've got for you this evening in our magic book. My goodness me. Oh, yeah. First, by the magic of sheer genius, we have our pianist of, well, the non-parade of pianists. Ladies and gentlemen, Graham, whose second name I can never remember. Graham Simpson! Lovely. And our opening number, ladies and gentlemen, as it's his birthday this weekend, is Mr. Miller himself, and you will be pleased to hear, and surprised to hear, that he's getting better every day. Thank you, Jonathan.
What was that?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, getting better. Have you had your flu jab yet?
No, not yet, should I?
Have these people had their flu jabs?
Oh, I think they've had more than flu jabs by the sound of them. They're very lively.
Oh, right. They've had flu jabs and they've had gin and tonic with lemon in it to keep away the scurvy, have they?
Probably.
Well, look, you see, the thing is, though, you just have to have this, alternative therapies, don't you? And some of what makes us feel sad at this time of year is just attitude, isn't it? I mean, I do have some advice for you. Let's see what we can do with it. This is to warm you all up. Number one on your list. Around like some sick house, and don't become a psychoanalyst. It's as simple as can be. Take this little tip from me. Next time your little Mary gives a twist, don't call the doctor in. He's simply well. But try the latest fake and forget the pain and yell. I'm getting better every day. I'm getting better every day. Throw away your pills and potions. We've done with all those old-fashioned notions. Hold tight. Now this is what you do. Take a long deep breath and say, feel better and better every day. Sure, what do you think?
Well, I thought those people who came in late perhaps were at a slight disadvantage.
They were, weren't they? So we'll just rewind. Yep. Right. Yes. But at least we know that the soup kitchen is closed now.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just to give you the idea of many of you join in, but I think we need to get them tuned up. Yes, I'm a bit worried about their R's.
You didn't tell me.
Let it go! Let it go! Don't just sit on it.
It's going to be one of those shows.
Right, can we have the house lights up for a minute? Let's see what we get. So, okay, so a little bit of an R.
Better already.
Yes, all sopranos. Sit down there. Yes. Nice frock though for Barrington.
Nearly as nice as yours.
Yes. So, well, that wasn't too bad. What did you think? They were pretty much in tune, weren't they? Pretty much in tune. So, when we get to that, we're going to do that chorus a couple more times, just to get the pitch of the room. Yes. And when you get to the just let it go. You know, let's. When I've done that, somebody needs some dentistry done, but it's so difficult to get it done.
Oh, you have to get honed.
Yes. More bridge work than Eisenbahn Kingdom Brunel.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you ready? I'm getting better every day. I'm getting better every day. Throw away your pills and potions. We're done with all those old-fashioned notions. Hold tight. Now this is what you do. Take a long deep breath and say,
As you've just been told, I come from Barking, but before I moved to Barking, I actually lived in the East End of London, a place called Custom House. You won't know, it's up against the Royal Albert Docks. And we moved out, when I was still a kid really, I was about 9, and we moved out to Dagenham, which became Dagenham and Barking. And in those days, it really was, hello, you alright? It really was countryside, because we used to go scrumping and things like that when I was 10, 11. It was great. You wouldn't think they'd work now, it's all concrete. Anyway, I have to tell you that because I heard this song by Gus Elan, and I think you'll agree I just have to learn it. So I'm going to sing it to you. I'm going to let the pianist have a rest because he's got so much to do later on, and I forgot to bring me music. But never mind. This is a Gus Elan song, and it's all about moving to Barking. We ain't to living where we did before we moved away from our little wooden house in Peckham Rye. We shifted for the better as the circumstances prove, and we've got a natty villa, and that's no lie. It's fenced all round with railings, finished off with spikes. There's a natty little wooden gate for keeping out the tykes. But you can come and see us any afternoon you likes, in our pretty little villa down in Barking. Oh, come down and hear the sparrows singing in the middle of the winter. You could fancy it was spring. The missus and the kids are getting brown as anything. Come down and see us all in Barking. There's a banister to hold on if you want to go upstairs, and the doors and things is painted white and blue. There's windows in the parlour, and the cupboards are in pairs, and every grate has got a chimney flue. There's a cellar underneath what holds 100 weight of coals, and a backyard nearly big enough to play a game of bowls. Now the kids has caught the whooping cough, God bless their little souls. So come and see us down in Barking. Oh, come down and hear the sparrows singing in the middle of the winter. You could fancy it was spring. The missus and the kids are getting brown as anything. Come down and see us all in Barking. Now there's a fancy iron scraper if you want to scrape your boots. the white man on the doormat at the door. There's nothing half as pretty as the number on the house, but the name of it's enough to break your jaw. Just remember, if you're calling, don't you do the la-di-da, 'cause the missus has a brother, he's an heavyweight as spar. If you get a gentle lift from him, well, you won't know where you are. So you better mind your P's and Q's in barking. Oh, come down and hear the sparrows singing in the middle of the winter. You could fancy it was spring. The missus and the kids are getting brown as anything. Come down and see us all in barking. That's a promise. Over now, city talk.
Take him up on that invitation. But, staying in the East End now, ladies and gentlemen, and don't panic, I meant it metaphorically. Thank you. Our next artiste is a real East End character. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Monty Miller. Do beg your pardon? As a general rule, if I announce an act, it comes on. However, as I did get it in the wrong order this evening, so somebody gets announced twice, and I do apologise to Mr. Ernie Welks, who bears a striking resemblance to one of our stage managers. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, we are still in the East End, metaphorically and otherwise. While you're waiting for Mr. Monty Fiddler to come on, even just as good is Mr. Ernie Welks.
Our Aunt Anna's passed away. We had her funeral today. And it was a posh affair. Had to have 2 policemen there. The hearse was lovely, all plate glass. And what a coffin, oak and brass. We thousands weeping, flowers galore. And Cousin Jim, what do you think he wore? Why, brown boots. I ask you, brown boots. Fancy coming to a funeral in brown boots. I will admit, he had a nice black tie, black fingernails and a nice black eye. But you can't see people off when they die in brown boots. And Aunt have been so very good to him. Done all what any mother could for him. And her son Jim, to show his class, turns up to make it all a farce in brown boots. I ask you, brown boots, while all the rest wore decent black and morning suits. He didn't seem so gay. In fact, he cried most part of the way, but straight and regular sport our day in his brown boots. And we could hear the neighbours all remark, what him, chief mourner, what a blooming lark. He looks more like a bookmaker's clerk in his brown boots. See, it's been a bad funeral. I've had a really, really tough time. You know, tears and everything. But anyway, brown boots. I am asking you, brown boots? Would any of yous go to a funeral in brown boots? And someday, up at Heaven's Gate, poor Jim, all nerves, will stand and wait till an angel whispers, "Come in, mate. Where's the brown boots?"
Mr. Ernie Welks, whom I nearly how could I forget such a splendid gentleman? Didn't he look lovely in his suit? Yes. I mean, one doesn't like to wish that his family would have lots of funerals, but he does look lovely in his funeral suit. However, as aforementioned, as previously promised, you may now have, ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure of, I hope, Mr. Monty Fiddler.
ladies and gentlemen. My name's Monin Fiddler, and I'm the promoter of the new, you may have heard about this, the new rock and roll philosophy. Yeah. And with my star signing, Maury Goldberg, the rocking rabbi, and his new alliance with Barry Hearn, the renowned snooker and boxing promoter, we are reaching new heights in epistemological metaphor. Yeah. Mind you, Maury's mum ain't too impressed. She was talking to her mates outside Tesco's the other day. Mrs. Cohen said, "My son is doing great. You know, he's an accountant. He's with one of the top West End firms, and, you know, the sky's the limit for him." Mrs. Levy says, "Well, my boy, he's become a solicitor, and he's become a partner in a top city firm in London. And, you know, he's just one of the top people around. So proud of him. What about your boy, Sadie?" He said, "Well, Maury, you know, he's a bit of a strange lad. You know, he's always been a bit of a thinker, and, well, we did our best for him, but he decided to be a rabbi." So Mrs. Cohen said, "Sadie, you're right. That's no job for a nice Jewish boy." Anyway, Maury lives in Hackney in the East End of London, and he's very proud of his heritage. You know, he's a working class background and everything. But, you know, it's become very upmarket now, Hackney, and a lot of middle class people have moved in. But Maury doesn't mind. You know, he's very open-minded. He says these middle class people have just got different words for things. For example, you know, they've got this thing down in these middle class people, this new Chinese philosophy called Feng Shui, right? I mean, it's the art of moving furniture around to the most appropriate position. And he said, "It's great, it's fine, but we've had it in the East End for years. It's just that we call them bailiffs." Now, Barry Hearn loves Maury. And Barry Hearn, as you know, is the chairman of Leighton Orient Football Club in the East End of London. And he's invited Maury to be his chief scout worldwide. So Maury goes around all these different countries. Anyway, Maury was in deepest Africa the other week, and he spied this bloke, phenomenal, in the middle of the jungle. This guy could pass, he could dribble, he could head, he could shoot, he could even play in goal, right? An amazing African man. So he brought him back to Brisbane Road, Audience Ground, and showed him what he could do, showed Barry what he could do. Barry said, tell the man to put him in the first team straight away. So they're playing the next home match, and Barry gives an inspirational team talk before every match. So he's in the dressing room and he's saying, "Okay, listen, ball, head, foot, goal." So this guy, this African guy, said, "Excuse me, Mr. Hearn, but actually I was educated in Eton and Oxford." He said, "I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the other lads." Anyway, Maury's discovered, have you heard of these new amazing combination sports? Like, there's this thing in Germany just happened, boxing chess. Like, you have a round of boxing, and then you take the gloves off and you play 3 minutes of chess. And the winner, it's starting in Germany, this Dutch guy promoter, it's amazing. And the winner's either the first one to get a knockout or a checkmate, you know. And I saw this program on TV the other day, food poker. You ever see that, food poker? You draw a card and it tells you what dish you're going to cook, right? And raw flush wins or something, I don't know. Anyway, we've come up with the best combination yet. Maury and Barry, they've come up with the best combination, ethical tennis, right? You play a set of tennis, no tie breaks, you just go on till somebody wins, and then you have a 4-hour debate on the ontological existence of God. And the winner is the last one to fall asleep. And we've got a trial match in the Royal Albert Hall. John McEnroe is taking on Stephen Hawking. It's a sellout already. Now, Maury's really getting in the world of interdenominational faith. It's a big business, ladies and gentlemen. as God himself told, Maury says himself, God loves a man who speculates. And anyway, he's at one of these conferences and he's talking to the other, men of faith there about various issues, and the subject of collections comes up. And so they're talking, this Muller says, well, we're very strict in my temple, it's very 50-50. 50% to God and 50% to us. It's straight down the line, no arguments, just the way the Quran taught it. And then there's this Catholic bishop here, and he says, well, that's great. We like, my church, we like to have a little bit of spice. They like a bit, punters like a bit of variety. What we do is take a collection, we roll it down the aisle. Whatever falls on one side goes to the church, and that's we kick. This really great system. Maury says, well, with all due respect, you gentlemen, I don't want to contradict anything you say, but I do think we have the best possible system. What we do is, we get all the coins together, we throw it up in the air, whatever God wants he keeps, and the rest he carries. Anyway, I'm off now to meet with my new philosophy signing, the remarkable taxi driver philosopher, Ted Head. Now, he can opine on any subject. I'm meeting him actually to discuss the finer points of linguistic methodology. Yeah, serious stuff. Anyway, any subject you like. Global warming, the population crisis in China, road humps in Hampstead, any subject you like. Excuse me a minute. Ted, is that you? What do you mean, where are you? Where are you? Hatfield? I said Sheffield. It's a taxi driver, for Christ's sake. Look, get on the M1 and turn left. You can't miss it, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, a lovely audience. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much, and because I had 2 intros, I'm not going to outro it. It was multi-fiddler. Right, well, it's not all winkles and whelks, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. Our next artiste has been invited to a very posh do, with bought cake and everything. Oh, yes. In fact, she's going to take... No, I'll let her tell you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, star of stage and screen, Miss Cressida Malcolm!
Jumped out of their closet, trying to get out of the
I made rather a serious mistake. You see, the thing is, none of us were really all that young, and they wanted to have a bit of fun, you see, and they saw this harp, and I think they thought I was a bit too celestial. You know, angels, all that stuff, you know what I mean? So I've decided I've got to be a bit more trendy. I've got to learn to play something else. So, oh, I do wish I could play like I'm Mr. Simpson here. Oh, what a talent, just to be able to play the piano like that. But I'm afraid that won't happen. So I've been thinking very hard, and I've decided that I'm going to learn to play the banjo. I took my harp to the party. Nobody asked me to play. The others were jolly and hearty, but I wasn't feeling so gay. I wanted so much to make it work, and I tried to hide this thing under my coat. I took my harp to the party. Nobody asked me to play. So I took my dancing away.
Truly celestial, this Cressida Falcon. And that, unless I'm mistaken again, concludes the proceedings for the first half. It's a game of 3 halves, folks. Thank you to all the artists in the first half. Thank you to you for being such a lovely audience. In fact, you're such a wonderful audience, I think you all deserve a drink. Go and get yourselves one. Back here in 15 minutes. Thank you. Maybe rusting. Hopefully, well, I would like to think that this time, for this part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, that if I announce an act, it jolly well comes on. So I've been into the green room, and I've cracked the whip, and it made me a few bobs, but they're still going to come on in the order they like, so there we go. I'm sure you'll agree. For all that, I'm sure you'll agree that our first half was wonderful. You've heard the expression weird and wonderful. Well, just don't say I didn't warn you. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, a lady who is not at all weird. Here to sing you a very lovely song, and I think a very appropriate song for the time of year. It's the delightful Gwyn Barton.
The first is As she's watching them go by, she seems to through her tears of her own fortune when the music plays. The pictures hanging on the wall, they seem to let it go, and she seems to hear a voice, I miss you too. That's why she's heavy-hearted, for when all is said and done, he was only just a little boy. Here's a time when the music's playing, and her eyes fill up with tears, as the soldiers pass the window, and the street rings out with cheers. For it's then that her heart is silenced, and it seems it can't be true, that she looks up at the pictures of her little boy. Is it strange when the music's playing, and the eyes are filled with tears, as the soldiers pass the window, and the street rings out with cheers? For it's then that her heart is silenced, and it seems she can't be true, as she looks up at the pictures of her little boy in blue.
Lovely Dunkel Remembrance Weekend there. Miss Gwyn Barton, a lady who is so posh she has her initials on the back of her car. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a theatrical quandary. A vaudevillian vacillation. Oh yes, a vacillation. No, that's not a flu jab, no. And here, to tell you about it, always a pleasure to welcome back on stage, Miss Cressida Bolton.